Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis, along with a number of cabinet ministers, officials from NEMA and the Bahamas Christian Council, touring areas affected by the passing of Hurricane Irma. The Prime Minister's first stop, the island of Bimini.
What we noticed in Bimini was some damage to docks with foam floating about in the waters, and those are matters that we must investigate and see what may have contributed to it, so that those events would not occur again.
The second stop was the nation's second city. While not directly affected by Irma, homes on Grand Bahama were ravaged by several tornadoes. The Prime Minister and his team were able to visit several homeowners and hear their stories.
When I got knocked off, I was on the ground. And fortunately, that's what kept me alive. That's what kept me alive. Because everything was flying around and spinning around.
Now, the Prime Minister says that he believes one of the issues may be the quality in which these homes are built. He says while the Bahamas does have an excellent building code, he questions whether inspections are thorough and if these codes are being enforced.
Here in Grand Bahama, we viewed the area that was struck by the tornado, and what was most evident, a lot of the hurricane strips or straps were not placed in properly. There were places for, in some straps, 3 nails and only 1 was in place. Then when we reviewed and looked at the trusses, you note that some may have been 4-inch thick, others were 2-inch thick. So what that points out to me is that we possibly have excellent codes, but our enforcement is not in place, and we must improve on our inspection, and that is very serious.
Also a part of the delegation, leader of the official opposition, Philip Davis. Prime Minister Minnis says that this teamwork is essential for the betterment of the nation.
And it was essential for the leader of the opposition to be here with us, because he also would have noted the same problems. And working together as a team, we can move forward so that we can improve the infrastructure of our facilities as we move forward. And all of us would work together, the NEMA, the opposition, ourselves, and we have one job, one purpose, and that is to improve the lives of the Bahamians and to improve the quality of life of the Bahamians.
He also added that because of teamwork, history was made during this past hurricane.
Who would have thought that as a team, the Bahamas, as small as we are, would succeed in evacuating individuals from throughout the Bahamas by airlifts? It's never been done before, and we were the first to go down in history to be successful. We would have made a few errors. We would have noted that some things could have been done better. And believe me, as we move forward, it will be done better.
Operations have resumed at the Freeport Harbor, and tonight Sabrina Brown talks with the taxi drivers about today's sea arrivals. U.S. pre-clearance is back at the Grand Bahama International Airport. Several international flights were able to be accommodated after the U.S. pre-clearance services resumed operations late yesterday. That service will continue from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Taxi drivers.
Who work from the Freeport Harbor are now back in business following a short break due to Hurricane Irma. 2 Carnival cruise ships calling at that port Thursday morning. And despite a low passenger count, these drivers say they are grateful.
We normally have 4,000, more than 4,000 people on each of those ships, but today we have like 500 on one and 600 on the other. Which is still good. I mean, at least some of the drivers will still get a job because they don't have any activities on the boat.
Even though they're, the count is not, the best, but thank God for the return.
the way how we go into a rotation is going to be very difficult for us to get a job. But whatever goes up, that means that something is going to stay in the economy. It's going to make it enricher because the people in Port Lukai is going to get something. The people on the beach are going to get something, whether it's taxi or the bus takes them.
God is good. When we look at the magnitude of that hurricane and how our islands were spared, surely we can say that God is good.
Some drivers believe Irma's devastating impact on Florida is affecting sea arrivals here in Grand Bahama. But one driver is optimistic that this island will benefit from an unfortunate situation.
The passengers couldn't get on board the ship in Miami, nor could they caught a flight coming into Miami to get on board the ship. So I heard that's why the counts are so low.
Grand Bahama being spared, we are open for business. So we're going to see a lot of cruise ships coming here which can go to other ports.
The Celebration and Balearia, which operate regular ferry service between Florida and Grand Bahama, are expected back on Friday. Drivers are looking forward to their return.
Basically, because they're based out of Florida, I think the counts are going to be very, very low again. Same thing as these boats, because they couldn't get down to Florida to get anything, so it's going to be very low. But whatever comes, there goes the economy again. We don't know how long this is going to be for. Basically, it based on what happens in Florida. Yes, we can't wait. We need this money.
Lorenzo Walker has this recommendation for the powers that be.
See the Port Authority reduce their fees so that the ships can come here, say for the next 6 months, reduce their fees so there can be more business. The hotels are not, we still have 4 of our hotels, major hotels still closed. So if we can get the cruise ship business coming here, that can generate people going to the shops and around the islands, bringing in monies to the island.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahama Power Company says that 99% of its consumers now have electricity. However, the Sunset Park, the area surrounding Imperial Gardens, is still waiting on power. Sunset Park is one of the communities hit by a tornado on Sunday, and work crews are currently in that area trying to effect repairs. The island of Bimini receiving some much-needed help after a tornado touched down on the island, damaging several homes and businesses on Sunday. Tonight, the leader in the telecommunications sector answered the call to assist with some much-needed supplies. Our Shoshana Roll and cameraman Dominic Nixon traveled with the BTC members to that northern island.
The BTC Northern team, led by BTC Customer Experience Vice President of Nassau and the Family Islands, Eldry Ferguson Mackey, rushing to the island of Bimini to assist residents who were impacted by Hurricane Irma and a tornado that ripped through the island on Sunday. Also on hand was CEO Dexter Cartwright, who says as the leader in the telecommunications sector, they thought it fitting to assist in whichever way they can.
Doing a lot of stuff with as a good corporate citizen, BTC, we are continuing our drive to help the community. So we're doing some handouts to residents in Bimini.
Every island is home to BTC, and when we have residents of the communities that we serve in, it's almost as though it's impacted us. We have family members, we have team members that live on the island of Bimini, so we understood the devastation that occurred here. It may be small and minute to some people, but it's a big deal to us.
And that big deal led to team members hopping on the back of a truck the minute they got on the island, rushing to the BTC headquarters and immediately start packing items for the local residents. The team then went door to door, speaking with Biminites and leaving them with some much-needed supplies.
We have building tarps, we have the stoves, the single burners, the propane stoves. We have grocery items, so canned goods, non-perishable items, and we also bought cleaning supplies, which is also very important. Sometimes people don't think about it. After a storm or after devastation, you need to make sure that you clean up, and so persons don't have access to that.
Meanwhile, residents say they are grateful to BTC for this initiative, confirming once again that Bimini is BTC country.
This is an awesome effort. Every little helps because sometimes we do not know what is needed, and this is a great effort because I'm quite sure persons can use these portable stoves right now, and because a lot of people use electricity for their ranges.
I think it's a great thing that they have done, stepping up and trying to help the residents here after such a great disaster, I believe it's awesome. And so we do really appreciate you, BTC, for coming in.
I think it's very, very good of them to do such a kind deed for us at this time. You know, many suffered more than others, but we thank God that we're alive and well. Because you can always get material stuff, but you cannot get back life. And I want to thank all souls that's coming at this time.
But Ferguson Mackey says this could not be done without the help from these partners.
We want to say thank you to our Grand Bahama. We want to say thank you also to some of the businessmen in Grand Bahama, Sawyer's Food Market. We got a lot of assistance from all Bill, Brian, and team. We want to say thank you to Keith with Stop and Shop. And we decided to muster those efforts and come here and see what we could do to bring immediate relief. This is BTC country, BTC every day.
Shashina Roll, ZNS Network News.
CEO of BTC, Dexter Cartwright, giving an update on services on the island of Bimini. Cartwright telling our news team that the BTC network did not receive any significant damage.
We're back in service. Our mobile service has been up for the last couple of days. We have a few number of fixed line DSL internet customers who are down in South Bimini. Hope to get those restored shortly. But overall, I'm very pleased with the progress we've made and that we have stayed in service, and we're providing, our BTC services to all of Bimini.
Bimini's largest employer, Resort
Classes, how they laid out the pool, and so as soon as we came back, we
damage from Hurricane Irma. The cleanup has started and the property is expected to reopen on September 27th. Exactly 1 week ago, the resort was evacuated out of concern as the impending dangerous Hurricane Irma approached. Reports say the resort's Royal Bimini's marina incurred significant damage. Stay with us, there's more news right after this break.